He dropped off. I guess he figured he didn't know we were going live tonight.
Oh, okay. A little late. Later than usual.
Yeah, might have to don't do it too long because I got an early start tomorrow. So,
Yeah. We'll run through it.
matter of fact, I'm going to bring Lou on stage.
Hey guys, I'm here.
Hey Lou.
Oh, cool.
Better late than never.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
joining.
Thanks for joining, man. Being patient. We had quite the day today.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Quite the day. So we are here.
And this game was no contest whatsoever.
No, it was not.
But did you really expect it to be I mean,
It should be a little bit competitive, but not like, the score, the Thunder are double what the Wolves have.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you on that.
65
Lou.
to 32, that's pathetic.
I mean, the way this going, they definitely going to get 100 points.
Yeah, before the
As
third quarter is over.
a matter of fact, before the third quarter, it may be over 100.
Exactly.
The way this going,
Put them out their misery.
I don't know.
Can I sum up like this, fellas?
Mm.
Ready? Da-da-da-da. You suck. You suck.
Man, look.
Oh, when you're 65 to 30, only scoring 32 points by the half. I mean, for college that's acceptable, but for the NBA, no, not acceptable whatsoever.
No.
I mean, these
In
guys.
the first quarter, yes. By the half, 32 points. No. That is a college basketball halftime, or even high school. NBA, no.
Yeah, they met their match in this thing right here. Minnesota.
You would thought Anthony Edwards, though, it'd be more competitive because he is not a slouch player, and of course that's Shai's cousin on that team as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you talk about the superstars, the expectation is between John Randall, Big Randall, and Ant Man, and a couple of pieces. But shoot, man, I mean, I think that the real engine that makes it go on both sides, offense and defense, is Ant Man. And I don't think that he's 100% healthy from the previous series. That previous series, he had a pretty bad injury, but he hasn't been the same.
Did.
Yeah. He hasn't been the same since then.
It has to fully healed then, I guess, because some injuries do heal faster, but I guess his injury denied. Yeah, that could cost you, especially when you're in a fighting for to stay alive in the postseason, because an injury in the postseason is a lot different than the regular season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't have a chance to recover at all.
Nope.
And so that has been a theme with this year's postseason. A lot of star players went down.
Why do you think Cleveland Boston lost?
Yeah. I mean, Jason Tatum going down was a big deal.
Yeah.
Steph Curry going down is a big deal. And now Ant-Man is hurt. That's a big deal for me. I don't think they beat OKC in the best of 7.
I don't think we're going to beat OKC, to be honest with you, but it could be a more competitive series. But now with Anthony Edwards out,
right.
I think it's time to put that nail in the coffin.
It's not even competitive.
No.
Not even close. And so, I mean, it's foregone conclusion. I don't think it's a surprise that OKC is coming out on the other end, even though, for most of us, we don't see a lot of OKC. The most we've seen OKC is in the postseason.
You would expect that in this part of the country, yes.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, and when ESPN does show them, I mean, they're late games because it's Oklahoma. They're like a couple of hours behind us. So those games start like 10 o'clock at night. And like, man, you had a hard day's work on a
Yeah.
Wednesday night. Maybe you catch the first quarter, maybe second quarter, but man, most people are going to sleep. East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Not watching that game. We're not watching them play like Sacramento.
Ooh.
That's the
Carolina's
issue.
in trouble now.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah.
And so, but I will say this: that's not OKC's fault. That's the league's
No.
fault. That's the league's fault because they don't do a great job in marketing their players or their teams.
No, man, you should.
And so, if you're not a legacy team, or if you're not in one of the major big cities, then you're not going to get a lot of play time on, ESPN or NBC is not going to. I mean, NBA is not going to. They haven't done a great job in marketing those teams that keep winning, and they're in the smaller cities. That's a league problem
Not a
in
great way
marketing.
Not a great way for TNT to go out, is it?
What's that, Lou?
Yeah, what was that?
Not a
Lou?
not a great way for TNT to go out, is it?
No, not at all.
No,
Okay.
it's not. No.
I mean, you don't want that.
You want to go out with a bang, and you're going out with a bust.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be as bad if the marketing of this team throughout the season was stronger, and
Yeah.
even going into the playoffs, the marketing has got to be strong. And they're like the number one seeded team in the West. Number one.
Yeah.
How do you not market? But what they do, Stephen A. and everybody, they market the Lakers because they got Luca and they got LeBron and it's LA.
That's big city area.
Yeah, big city area, big market, and it's a
Sure.
legacy. It's a legacy team,
Right.
and so with all of that, it's easy. It's easy to do, and it's
Yeah.
instead of doing the right thing, that's harder. Like, look, man, we got young guys. These guys will sweep LA. And you got to make a point. You got to make a case for these guys, and they just have not. And the you can't have Big Perk doing it because Big Perk been pumping them up all season. But everybody ain't looking for Big Perk. They like him or hate him. It's
Yes.
up to people like Stephen A. Smith to make the pitch. That's it.
Yeah, but
It's a good
he,
play on me.
but
League.
but yeah, Lou are yeah, but yeah, Lou. I mean, Luke,
Thank you.
Stephen A. already hating on OKC, right? So
Yeah, but that's the problem.
he pick his teams who he hate on. He hate on OKC. He hating on, of course, he hating on the
I
Pacers.
hate OKC. That's right. That's right.
I mean, he had a serious temper tantrum against the Indiana Pacers in this game. I thought the
Mhm.
Oh
man,
yeah.
I thought the man was gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
I thought he did.
Yeah, but that's the problem. People like Stephen A. That is he's gonna be all pro. He's gonna be anti
Yeah.
Pacers because they're playing against New York. That's his squad, and he's gonna be anti OKC because outside of SGA and even with SGA, he's not marketing. He doesn't like marketing any other players on the team.
Nope.
He doesn't watch them, to be frank, but
That's
he
who
won't
he
admit
is.
to it.
That's how he's always been.
Has always been, and that is the problem. That's an NBA problem.
Why do you still keep?
Oh man, what cause the teams he talks about? I mean, at the very least, you want to see Stephen A. lose. You want to see Stephen A. unhappy.
How much they paying him to stay?
So, so but it just so happens. I mean, he's a Knicks fan, but
Don't lie.
yeah. So with that, I mean, it's New York Knicks. They don't need marketing.
No, it's New York. Of course not.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you. They don't need marketing. That's an NBA problem. The team that needs to be marketed is the one that's winning. But it's Indiana. So without, the bad boys I mean, they play as a team. And you look at Halliburton, kind of reminds you like Trey Young because it's a team thing. It's about
Mm,
assists and the
Yes.
players around you. And he can shoot, he can play, he got game. He can drive to the bucket, he can shoot threes, he can make any shot on the floor. But you look at Indiana, it's a team game. It's all about the team. And the NBA is all about either a person, a guy, a LeBron or a Luca, or it's about the market or a legacy team. They don't market other squads very well outside of that at all. That is a huge problem, guys. Huge problem. That's why the NBA cannot be number one. They're talking about being global. Mm-mm.
No.
No, no,
nah.
no, no, no. They need to overhaul their marketing department. Start start there. Overhaul that and then work your way up. Because some of the holidays like Christmas,
Mhm.
NFL has no respect for the NBA. NFL is like, no, we're gonna put a couple games on Christmas holidays and we don't care. In the NBA, well, they can still play. But we're gonna play on Christmas too. Let the people decide.
Right,
NBA
right.
is NBA is Christmas, and Thanksgiving is football. Okay, let's not get all mixed up here.
NFL say they gonna get it. But the thing about NFL, you got to have the good matchups.
Yeah.
You can't just, Thanksgiving it doesn't matter because you're used to seeing Detroit play for Thanksgiving.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
No, but the NBA. No, but Christmas belongs to the NBA, not the NFL.
Well, NBA say they don't. NFL say they don't care. And so, and
Yeah.
but
Well,
but but
you're gonna cheat a lot of people out because they only want to show the games on the streaming services, not the networks.
yeah, that's a killer. That's a killer.
That's the problem.
That's a killer. But I think the NBA is slipping so bad on the marketing piece because
Yeah.
you only got a year or so of LeBron, so you can't say, well, LeBron's playing on Christmas. Everybody tune in. LeBron and Luca can get out of the second round, both of them, and they marketed them to death. And so you got to start finding younger players of today, and you're gonna find them next week. The ones who are in the playoffs. It's Halliburton. It's his guys. It's Siakam. It's the team.
Yeah.
It's the team. It's SGA. It's
What about
all of
Cooper
these guys.
Gag?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's those guys. You got to market the
What
guys
about
you
what
have.
about Cooper?
Who?
Cooper Gag, a flag.
Oh man, please.
Ah,
I
shit.
think he's gonna be a bust, man.
Yeah, I don't know about
I
that
rest
though.
my case. I rest
He's
my
go-
case.
yeah, I think he's gonna be a
Yeah.
bust, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he should have stayed another year in college.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's what I kept saying too. I mean, Victor Wembanyama is bad enough.
Yeah. So I think he should have stayed in school um,
Absolutely.
and got better. I still don't think he plays the basic game of basketball very well.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He rushed it.
Yeah, he rushed it, man. He makes a couple of hot plays
The
here and
rush
there
to
and got
glory.
good teammates.
The rush to glory.
Yeah, rush to glory, man. So
Well, that's what I call
yeah. So they're going to be much better players in the draft than him, and whoever picks him up is going to be sorry. But they're going to feel the peer pressure and like, hey, we got to pick him up.
But I agree with you, man. I agree with both of you guys, man. But if he get with the right, well, hell, it is what it
it.
is with him. I'm not even gonna try to,
Mhm.
add anything else to that.
Yeah, because we know
Yeah,
who's going to pick him.
he was just a hype, just being hyped up.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
Mm.
overhyped
plus
is
he
more like it.
yeah overhyped. He's a guy who can jump, got good hops. And he plays for Duke. So hey, just why not? They go ahead and just run with it. but I don't even think he's better than Ricochet. I
No.
will be dead honest with you. Ricochet, who the Hawks picked up #1 pick last year,
Hmm.
is better than Flag. That whoever's gonna pick him up this year,
Yeah, I kind
bar
of.
none.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that. Yeah.
And the only difference is nobody saw Ricochet play before he got drafted in the U.S. That's the problem. If you don't see him, we don't. Hell, I admit to it. Hell, I ain't seen him before he got to the Hawks. I just saw him, draft week. you know, Alex Sarr, all those guys. I didn't know all those guys, man, until they
Yeah.
start popping them up for the draft. And then the Hawks went away from Alex Sarr. Plus he didn't want to play here anyway. And so this thing, you get Ricochet comes up. They're like, who is this guy? All right, okay, he looks a little small, but okay, we can work with it. And you fast forward, and this guy was balling, man. I mean, he was #2 for Rookie of the Year, something like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so I mean, and all he was lacking was playing time. If he got more playing time, maybe he would have won. I don't know, but he's a pretty solid player to be so young. You can see it. I ain't saying he's gonna be a Michael Jordan and like that, but shoot, a Jason Tatum, he can be. So, he can be a Jason Tatum. But but you look at Cooper Flag, man. I don't see it, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't see it at all. But just real quick, if I could shift gears just a little bit in golf, man. Charlie Woods, he won
Yeah.
his first Junior Golf Association event, man. How about that?
Oh, great.
No,
How
cool.
about that, man? Yeah,
Cool.
he won his
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
How about that, guys?
Yeah. That's what's
So,
up.
and
Good
Tiger
job,
is
Charlie.
good job, Charlie, man. And Tiger's got to be beside himself. He is beside himself. If you go to YouTube, look at the clips, or go on ESPN and look on the clips. Man, he is a proud papa. One proud papa.
Sure.
Absolutely, man. I mean, no doubt. Why not?
Yes, sir. Yeah, one proud. I
Yeah.
mean, you could feel the excitement. And Charlie hit a hole in one. He was good, man. He was really doing it up. So I'm really happy for the Woods family on that one. I wish him many more victories, man. Um, Hover, what? Let me switch gears again. Hover, what are you gonna do with your Atlanta Braves?
Oh,
Man, I don't know, Brad. I don't
But
know.
look, but as weird as the Braves, or
boy.
as frustrating as it has been watching the Braves. Check this out. Ronald Acuna just got back on Friday. Hit
Yep.
a home run. Had a pretty good weekend.
Hmm.
The Braves are 10 games out of first place in May, June. So neither here or there, behind the Phillies. I still think the Phillies are a better team than the Braves this year. And
Yeah.
number two,
Yes. Yes.
the Braves are only 2 games out of second place behind the Mets. You're only 2 games out of second place behind the Mets, and it's not even June yet.
that's now
And the
that's
Braves have just been chugging along. It's just a weird
no,
team this
yeah,
year.
yeah, that's funny.
That's real funny. In the Mets, you got Juan Soto and everything else going for you, but the Braves are just right there as they've always been. And it happens every year. Near the end of the year, Braves gonna peel off like 10 in a row here, 7 in a row there. And next thing you know, the Mets are gonna be in the real view window. Now the Phillies Phillies are legit. They probably win the pennant this year.
Yeah.
Um
Marcus say for some other teams. Oof.
yep,
I
yep. So
mean, you take a look. I mean, okay. I'm looking now at the National League West. I mean, it's pretty solid for the first three. You got LA, well, all California teams, Dodgers, Padres, and Giants, all within striking distance.
yeah,
Hmm.
D-backs, they give you some work. But from Arizona, which is in fourth place, down fifth place, there is a very considerable gap between
Yep.
fourth and fifth. Arizona is 27-29. You know what the Rockies are?
Have they even won 10 games this year?
9-46. That is
Ah,
pathetic.
ah,
That
there
is
you go.
pathetic.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, it's sick.
it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Sox are doing better than that. I mean, they're doing better than last year for sure. I mean, you're still horrible, but you're improving. You're improving from last year. But the Rockies, I think, are going to break last year's record. I mean, they have a chance to lose 136 games, which would be the ultimate disaster in baseball history.
I tell you, I tell you,
That is the sickest thing I've ever seen.
it sucks. It
yeah.
really does.
Yeah, it does.
And you want to know what really sucks on top of that? I think the Braves played them and lost the game. And so everybody has pretty much swept the Rockies except for the Braves. That's what's so frustrating about this team.
Oh man.
You think they should be so much better than what they are, but they are not.
And if you're a Met fan, boy, I got a big one for you. The Mets lost to the White Sox this afternoon.
Yes, sir. We on the game.
Lost
I
to
mean,
the White Sox.
hey, we that's not good at all. And that's good for the Braves because that puts us close, and now we're on a game and a half behind second place.
You can't
Look,
even be a turd. My goodness.
yeah, it's that's not good, man. That's not good at all. So the interesting thing, the Braves are playing the Phillies right now. Not playing tonight. I think it was postponed, but it played yesterday,
Yes,
a couple of days
yes.
ago, and so the Braves lost 2-0. And Spencer Strider was starting. He's coming off an injury,
Yeah.
and so he's still trying to find his location and all that kind of stuff. So I think he nicked up Bryce Harper.
hmm
So Bryce Harper was rolling all on the ground like he got shot. But so
Got
now,
shot.
yeah, that's what he was. That's how he was reacting. But I'm not saying that the pitch done. I'm quite sure it was painful. But I mean, But at any rate, he just got a bruise and put some dirt on it. So the Philly fans are livid. They are 38 hot with Atlanta and say next time they play Atlanta, there needs to be retaliation, and that retaliation needs to be Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. So look, man, I'll put it this way. That's fine. Unwritten rules in baseball, that's one of them. And that's one of the unwritten rules that pretty much the Braves have done a poor job in following. The Braves don't do a very good job in terms of the unwritten rules of baseball. So
There's a
we're
lot.
gonna see how the Braves handle this if they come after Ronald Acuna, because Ronald Acuna Jr. he hadn't been back a week. He had a season-ending injury, another one.
Yeah.
And he just not, I mean, he coming back hot. He's making plays and, hitting home runs. Kind of picking up where he left off at. So if he gets up the bat and they plug him one, let's see how the Braves react to that. And that's all I got to say. If the Braves don't react to that, then we got a problem. We as Atlanta fans, we got a problem. We got a serious
We do.
problem with this team. So if they plug Ronald Acuna, that's fine. I get it. But if they plug him, everybody need to clear the dugout immediately. Just be ready. Just be on the. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know if we got that kind of team. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. I hope we do, but I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So they can pluck away, and we'll just shout about it and keep it moving. Real quick, guys. the SEC. Will the SEC go to 9 games this year, or in the future, in the next couple of years? Because the debate is they have them go one more game, and the 9th game will have to be a conference game. And I would think that we got enough conference games as it is.
Yeah.
But but it's this thing with the ESPN contract and the ESPN and SEC. ESPN wants that game. That's what it is. Make extra money, extra revenue, more viewers. It's the hot conference, that kind of stuff. And Fox, I think I don't know. I don't know what Fox is doing with the Big Ten, but ESPN is pressing that extra game. And I don't guys, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I like it where it is. Because from a fan standpoint, I mean the SEC is tough enough as it is, and so we just cannibalize each other. It's just and so I think it just makes it even worse by adding an extra conference game in there. And then you got to turn right back around and play for a conference championship. But the thing about this, guys, is it's a 4-4-2-1. You ever heard of that?
No.
I don't think so.
It's the 4-4. The 4-4-2-1 is this. In the playoffs that's coming up in NCAA playoffs football, you will have 4 teams from the SEC, four teams from the Big Ten, 2 teams from the ACC, I think, and I think 1 team from the Big 12. I'm thinking, and then the rest of the teams are at large, like your Notre Dames or all those kind of people.
Yeah,
that's the 4-4-2-1.
Okay.
And the seating has changed too. So none of that stuff in terms of your Boise's, getting first round buys, that kind of stuff. Number 11, but you get a first round buy. You are what your seating is. So I think the seating, and that's going to change this year. I think the seatings are going to change this year.
it should.
Yeah. So that makes it better for me because I was getting angst before. So this stuff does not work. So, but I think, guys, I think it's leading up. All of that is saying is this. I think that the SEC and the Big Ten will leave the NCAA.
You think so?
I know so. They will leave in our lifetime, guys. They will leave the NCAA, combine it, and formulate their own league, their own thing with their own rules. Because the rules for NCAA have been antiquated for so long. It just makes no sense. They're still looking at them as student athletes. And now with the NIL deal, they didn't have any choice but to go with support the NIL because Sankey with the SEC and the Big Ten were threatening the league. Yeah. And they still are. And they know that the SEC and the Big Ten does not need the NCAA.
Well,
they do true. Not.
Yeah,
they do not.
I
agree.
They do not. And so, and the NCAA has been asleep at the wheel for so long that they've lost control. They're asleep at the wheel. So they should have been updating. 20 years behind. 20 years behind. 30. I take that too. And so that's where they are. I think this is something that's inevitable, and that I just think it's just a matter of time before it happens. Big Ten, SEC, and they got all the country. They got everything covered. Between those, think about it. Between those 2 conferences, you got Ohio, Michigan. You got the West Coast covered.
Yep.
You got the Midwest covered, and you kind of got the North covered because you got Rutgers, you got Penn State, and here you just throw in Maryland, for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the whole you got 2/3 of the country kind of covered. SEC got the rest of it covered down south. SEC got the South covered. All they need to do is add like Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, that kind of thing for regional purposes. And you can get rid of Kentucky or somebody. I don't know. I don't care. Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I don't care. Get rid of them. But SEC has got Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas, Arkansas, Missouri, and Florida. That's the whole Southeast. You got everybody except for and you got South Carolina. And so North Carolina is the odd man out. They're not covered by SEC or the Big Ten. And so ACC is the odd conference out. And so then get all that covered. They're gonna ask Ian.
ACC's basketball though.
Yeah. And they're not gonna get in without what's in it for us. Well, that's the thing. So if they go beyond football, then I would say yeah. I'm just looking at the football aspect for the moment. But if you go beyond football and you go baseball and you go basketball, then I think just for basketball purposes, I guess you could say ACC, because of the legacy teams. And Duke is still good. North Carolina's all right, but shoot, look at how many teams the SEC sent into the tournament this past year. They sent way more than ACC.
Yeah, that's true.
So even in basketball, the SEC is running. And look at baseball and softball. SEC is still in the mix. Georgia's pretty good, unless you check.
They're a strong conference. What can I say? They're the strongest conference.
It's the strongest conference, man. So if any conference can just say, look, man, we don't need nobody. We're going to go on and have our own championship, our own whatever. And Big Ten, y'all want to come on, y'all can come on, and we get a deal. And then we have our own championship, our own league, and everybody else can stay in the NCAA. And they can treat, and everybody knows those are the two top conferences, especially when you talk about football. And so whoever is left in the NCAA, which the NCAA will have the numbers, but everybody knows that they won't have the best teams. They're going to turn into the new mid-major. There will be the new mid-major because their teams will not be on the same level as Big Ten and SEC. But for any sport, football, basketball, or baseball, that's what you're looking at. So if you guys want to stay with the NCAA and the antiquated rules and this, that, and the other, go ahead. Have your champion and do what you think is best. But everybody gonna be watching Big Ten and SEC because they know that's the best.
Right.
It's coming, y'all. It's coming.
Right.
It is NCAA's fault. So I just thought I'd bring that up. I like talking college ball, man. It is so interesting and so intriguing.
After all, the college, the Field of 64, of course, is now playing. So
yeah. So the Falcons have started voluntary workouts, and there's no Kirk Cousins. Does that bother you, Hope?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all, Red. I mean, Kirk Cousins, it is what it is, but no, that doesn't bother me. How about you? Does it bother you?
I'm gonna go to Lou. Because Lou said, what do you think about that, Lou?
I find it doesn't bother me, but I find it kind of strange when no Kirk Cousins there. I mean, Hova, I would have thought maybe you would have been, shocked by that and surprised. I really did. I really thought you guys would be shocked. Like, what? He's not there? That's your top guy, isn't it? He's your top guy.
Man,
yeah, shoot.
I don't know. I don't know, man. So, but I look.
Yeah.
Look. Kirk Cousins showed up for voluntary workouts a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
He didn't today, but it's voluntary. But for your quarterbacks, whether you're starting or not, you want your quarterback to be a voluntary workouts. And the thing about it is, if Kirk wants to work, if he's serious about working somewhere else, you at least want to have show that you have good work ethic, regardless, and a professional. It ain't
Mhm.
about your feelings. Everybody catching feelings and stuff. But hey, but maybe it ain't him. Maybe it's the organization told him not to show up. Maybe Arthur's like, nah, I don't think it's a good idea for you to show up because of, there's a thing going on with you. People feeling some kind of way about you. I'm feeling some kind of way about you. You feeling some way about us. So plus we know there's gonna be we might be dealing you behind to the Steelers or somebody anyway in the next week or so. Don't
Yeah.
even worry about it. So it may not even be a Kirk Cousins thing. Maybe Arthur Blank thing. Yeah. So what you think about that part, Hope?
Well, I don't. Uh, I- it's kind of hard to say, Brett. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that
Mm,
it could very well be management, possibly, but yeah, it's kind of hard to really say on that one, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will say the good thing about OT, I think that Obi Trice, I think it was our second, third round pick from a year ago, on the defensive line. He was pretty good in Washington. I think Washington had a pretty decent defense a couple of years back, man, with Michael Penix, and both of them came out at the same time. And he was the leader of that defense in the front seven. So with Grady being out, man, that's the kind of guy that you expect. He was team captain and everything, so that's the kind of guy you expect, to produce. He got hurt. He was out for the season. It was a non-contact injury, which is like, oh my god, it's bad. So you hope that that he's healthy and that he can produce for you, and which would be technically his first year. His rookie year was last year, but technically this would be his first year performing and playing. And he may start, guys. So I don't know, but I look forward to it. So I it's one of
Yeah.
our guys I look forward to seeing, other than the quarterback. Everybody looking forward to seeing Michael Penix, see what he's gonna do.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a good year, man. He looked very good at the when he finally got in.
Yeah,
So to get some good, a lot of reps with the first team this time around, I think he's gonna be pretty good.
yep, yep. I agree. I agree. I think so. He should be good. So look, guys, that's it. That's we gonna cut the show out. Look, I know we started late today, so
All right.
we're gonna cut it a little bit early tonight
All right.
to get on with the get on. So Lou, if you could take us home tonight, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Enhanced Sports Show rolls on Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. We'll continue on with the NHL NBA playoffs as they're wrapping up the conference finals. So by this time next week, hey, final exam time.
Huh.
Um, yeah. We'll continue coverage with the UFL as they wrap up. I think this week they wrap up the regular season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
MLB, of course. Um, we'll recap the Indy 500 and we'll take a look at the French Open, the second major in tennis of the year. And of course, UFC and WWE news as well.
Oh yeah.
any news from the NFL that comes along as well, of course, because just because it's not playing right now doesn't mean that they're not busy. If you know what I mean. Of course, you also have the regular features. This day in sports history, sports trivia, the ridiculous sign of the week. Your thoughts and comments, and that's time of the month where we have the best and worst of the month. And there's been a lot of sadness in the sports world in this past month, so it's going to be a tough one to decide because it really has been some pretty sad and devastating moments in the sports world over the last 30 days. So I think maybe go a little bit deep into that.
Yep.
So remember the number is 512-543-4662 for 46 Saturday. Don't forget to like and share the Facebook page, and we're also now on Facebook Live. That's right, not StreamYard anymore. Facebook Live.
Nice.
But other than that, it's the same show that you've always known and loved, even though you have a guy like me. He says sarcastically.
Thanks a lot, Lou. Appreciate it, man. And I actually catch you on Facebook Live, man. So if you see that little one person or two person in there, that's usually me.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So which one of you cloned each other? No, I'm kidding. Okay. On that note, before making a complete fool of myself, good night.
Good night, Luke. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks, Luke.
Sure.
All right. We want to thank everybody for joining the Bread and Hope the show. And we're going to try our best to get on time to you next week. Till next week, speak on it.
Speak on it.